As the hurricane death and devastation toll rises, the Trump campaign continues to politicize it with false information meant to be inflammatory, and it may have reached a new low today as it was daughter-in-law in North Carolina native Lara Trump's turn to step up to the mic and defend the lies, and I have the full story for you next.
Why is he spreading misinformation in a crisis like that, and does that concern you about your fellow North Carolinians and how and whether they could actually get help?
Before I reveal Dana Bash's full question and Lara Trump's BS answer, this related CNN report by Caitlin Collins was so well done, the Harris team shared it on social media as a rebuttal. Not only does it deconstruct the lie, but it also reveals Trump's hypocrisy because as president, he did what he's accusing the Biden-Harris administration of doing.
Lying about the federal government's response to Hurricane Helene. The former president falsely claimed there isn't enough money for hurricane relief.
It's been a terrible response from the White House. They're missing $1 billion that was used for another purpose.
In reality, Congress just gave FEMA another $20 billion last week for its disaster relief fund. The Department of Homeland Security says it will need more to make it through the rest of hurricane season, but also noted that there is enough for the immediate rescue and recovery needs from this storm.
But when they don't have the money to take care of, that's why they're giving you lousy treatment in North Carolina. Kamala spent all her FEMA money, billions of dollars. They stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank. They've given over $1 billion to illegal migrants that came in, and now they have no money.
That is not true. FEMA says no disaster funds were used to shelter migrants. They are two separate programs, actually, both approved and funded by Congress. But you know which president did do that? The 45th. Back in 2019, when Trump was still in office, his administration pulled $155 million from disaster relief funds to pay for migrant holding facilities. That means that when Trump was president, he did exactly what he is accusing Biden of doing, taking cash from disaster funds to pay for migrant programs at the southern border.
And now watch as daughter-in-law Lara Trump attempts to defend the indefensible. As I mentioned, she is a North Carolina native, and it is simple human nature to have a heightened feeling of empathy and compassion when disaster strikes an area that you identify with. But when she is confronted with the Trump lies about her home state, she spends exactly 14 seconds expressing concern before she flips to the script to the bigoted talking point that the Trump campaign is riding, or more accurately, flailing to the finish line.
In your home state of North Carolina, he said that FEMA is only offering $750 to Americans who have had their homes destroyed. That's not true. He's also echoing conspiracy theorists online who falsely claim that the administration is redirecting disaster money for undocumented immigrants. That's also not true. Why is he spreading misinformation in a crisis like that? And does that concern you about your fellow North Carolinians and how and whether they could actually get help?
I'm incredibly concerned in North Carolina. I hear every day from people on the ground there, and they are desperate for help. It is a dire situation there. I actually think we don't even know the extent yet of truly how bad it is there. And look, Kamala Harris did come out and say it's $750 per family right now. The idea that we've spent $650 million in fiscal year 24 on the migrant crisis that Kamala Harris was responsible for stopping, and by all accounts, she created by having an open door policy at our southern border,
but
is
Lara,
infuriating.
Laura, let me just stop you right there.
Of this country.
Let me just stop you right there because I just want to not let this get out there. You are right that FEMA is giving $750, but that is a first step. It's for immediate needs. It's called the serious needs assistance.
Dana, and said that they are out of money in terms of their hurricane relief. We have another hurricane heading towards Florida right now.
What they have said is that there is money
right now. Why don't they have anything in order? Why is it that right now the citizens in Western North Carolina are screaming for help, and it's having to come from local citizens? People from my hometown of Wilmington are driving across the state 6 hours to go to the mountains and help people.
It is bad.
Where is our federal government? Why are they out of money?
It is bad there, but my question is about the misinformation, particularly the notion that they are moving money to migrants, to, you say, undocumented migrants, which FEMA says flatly is not true. And And if people are not getting correct information, then they can't go for assistance.
It is truly sad to see a disaster and people suffering politicized this way. Whenever a hurricane, tornado, or other calamity occurs, devastation and even death is going to play out in real time via modern media while aid is assembling in the background. And it takes a dark and twisted mind to be ground zero for lies and misinformation, while at the same time so many with compassion are swinging into action to serve the communities that are devastated. Mark Twain once said, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes." Donald Trump is like the Elon Musk of lies. He uses his platform to build them. He adds rocket fuel and launches a new one almost every day. And his surrogates like Lara Trumps are like booster rockets. It is sad that networks like CNN have to give them more airtime in order to go through the debunking process, but I'm glad they do. But you know what's more valuable than liberal-minded journalists fighting the good fight against Trump's lies? 3 Republican governors expressing gratitude for the efforts of the current administration.
I'm incredibly appreciative of the rapid response and the cooperation from the federal team at FEMA.
There's 100% federal money flowing in.
We're getting assistance, and we're asking for everything we need.